Throughout history, millions of individuals have come to religious leaders seeking relief from the evil inside of them, sometimes quite literally. Exorcisms are still a recognized part of multiple faiths and have helped many people vanquish demons or other spirits. But quickly recognizing that someone needs one of them is crucial to getting help, so it's time to learn what to look for. Here are 10 ways to tell if someone is possessed. Number 10 are blackouts or lost time. If someone you know is experiencing bouts of bad memory, total blackouts without an apparent cause, or sudden jumps through time, you or they could be the vessel for a demonic presence that's making itself known. When the darker entity takes over, often the body's owner has no idea what's happening and then goes into a coma-like sleep. And if and when they do wake up, they're greeted by whatsoever reality the demon has created through the use of their body. In most cases of demonic possession, the subject reports having lost time and often cannot account for some or all of the things the dark creature inhabiting them said or did while in control. Like multiple personality disorder, being possessed could lead to two consciousnesses pulling around the same body. Number 9 is poor dental hygiene. Demons, especially those said to inhabit humans from time to time, are said to almost always be outgoing, selfish creatures, uncaring of the needs of the host whose body they occupy. Because of this, often the body is neglected, specifically in regards to personal grooming and hygiene. Additionally, having that much evil inside of the body is said to cause numerous health issues. Many of those who are taken over by dark forces tend to suddenly have rapid and acute dental decay, as the spirit inside of them becomes toxic as its strength grows. So, if you're trying to determine if a person has been possessed, the sudden existence of larger, more pointed and grayer teeth, or the equally sudden decay or loss of teeth, can be telltale signs. Number 8 is low energy. One sign of demonic possession could be dismissed as common fatigue. However, it could be that the person isn't tired because of exertion or illness. They may be losing energy in a battle not even they knew that they were fighting. Having all of that evil inside of a person is overwhelming and exhausting. Even just going about your day as normal with a supernatural hitchhiker inside of you can quickly become difficult, as the body's energy is sapped away as they get closer and closer to being fully in control of your actions. A possessing spirit actually wants the host to be weary and in a constant state of exhaustion, because that makes them easier to manipulate. If a doctor can't explain a person's sudden drop in energy, then it might be time to consult an exorcist. Number 7 are markings or odors. One of the best things to look for when it comes to identifying a possessed individual are literally physical markings or deformities. It's common for people being tormented by a demonic presence to show marks of the evil creatures on their bodies or faces. Scrapes, gouges, burns, and raised, irritated markings have all been found on numerous people who are suffering from a spirit's dark influence. Sometimes the possessed person inflicts the markings themselves, soon after forgetting that they did so when they're back in control, but other times the marks suddenly appear without explanation. A person possessed by evil can also begin to give off strange odors. These smells vary, but the most common are sulfur, burning flesh, or the odor given off of a decaying corpse. Number 6 is superhuman strength. Demons are powerful entities, and as they assume control over a mortal being, that power reveals itself through various means. One such way is through a supernaturally enhanced strength. Multiple people present at exorcisms have reported a strapped-down possessed individual being able to somehow break free of their shackles or belts, hurl things far too heavy for someone to throw, or break things that they shouldn't be able to with their bare hands. Additionally, the demon's strength can manifest as an incredibly high pain tolerance, allowing them to take large amounts of damage to the host's body. However, it's believed that while the demon can take injuries or even cause them to itself, the soul of the mortal that the demon is inside of is in there feeling every harm inflicted upon it. Number 5 is impossible knowledge. In 2008, New York psychiatrist Dr. Richard E. Gallagher documented a case of demonic possession after trying to treat a patient named Julia. She was a woman who seemed to be able to make the room that she was in unbearably hot whenever someone tried to force out the evil entity inside of her. One of the most convincing arguments in defense of her possession being real was the fact that she could somehow tell people things about themselves or the future that she couldn't possibly have known. This ability has been shown in multiple victims of possession if the demonic presence inside of them is both willing and powerful enough to perform it. So if someone seems to know things that they absolutely shouldn't, it could be a sign that you're not speaking to them, but whatever else is looking at you through their eyes. Number 4 is significant character changes. One of the biggest signs that someone who is in the process of being possessed exhibits is a major shift in their character. Changes in wardrobe and style, shunning friends and family, breaking laws that they never would have, or taking up life-threatening habits such as abusing drugs or alcohol could all be evidence that someone else is in control of them. It's also possible that the individual will begin to show more animalistic behavior. Such was the case with Orange Cheyenne Johnson, the first man in the United States to use demonic possession as a defense in court of law after he viciously attacked and took the life of his landlord in 1981. According to witnesses, Johnson was growling like an animal and was definitely not himself when he attacked. But he only served 5 years of what would have been a 10 to 20 year sentence. Apparently, his defense worked. Number 3 is aggression to loved ones. Demons are horrible entities who enjoy not only hurting the living, but forcing the living to hurt the ones that they love. Often, it isn't stress that's making someone more aggressive towards those that they care about, but the influence of a malicious spirit. If you suspect someone is under such an influence, it's important to note how they're acting towards people that they normally treat with love and respect. In 1974, a highly religious man in Ossett, West Yorkshire, England, named Michael Taylor underwent a 24-hour exorcism after he began aggressively lashing out at his wife and friends. Priests discharged around 40 separate demons, but warned the man that 3 remained. Unfortunately, soon after arriving home, Taylor attacked his wife and literally tore her to pieces with his bare hands. Number 2 are reactions to prayer. With all of the bad that demons bring to one person, an infusion of good will cause a big reaction, and often that good comes in the form of something any demonic presence would be very uncomfortable with: prayer. If you suspect that someone is possessed by something dark and malicious, then delivering a lengthy prayer in their presence will likely confirm it. To determine if a demon has taken up residence, the priest performs a long prayer and watches what the potentially possessed individual does. If they are truly possessed, there will be scary facial expressions, threats uttered, and blasphemy stated against God. And number 1 is defying gravity and psychokinesis. The clearest sign that a supernatural force has taken over someone is the presence of supernatural powers. In numerous cases of demonic possession, such as the case of Clara Germana Saleh, a young woman who made a pact with Satan in 1906, unnatural powers were always evident. Witnesses say Clara levitated nearly 1.5 meters off the ground on more than one occasion, especially when the exorcism that ultimately vanquished the demon inside of her was taking place. Additionally, as the possessing spirit gets closer and closer to full control of the victim's body, their abilities can get more powerful. They can control things outside of their body, displaying psychokinesis, the ability to move things with their mind. So if someone's able to move things with the look, they may not be the only one in that body.